that boil. Now, I can go ahead and prep my cabbage. This is a nice big boy. This thing costs like $1.28 today. It's beautiful. It's full of nutritional stuffs. Very, very good for you. You can slice it pretty much any way you want to, but you don't want the core that runs through the center because it doesn't cook very well. I've had some friends say, well, that sounds really interesting, this thing I'm cooking right now. But I'm just not much on cabbage. Well, I didn't used to be much on cabbage either. But its health benefits are so enormous that I learned to like it. You can learn to like anything, especially anything healthy. Just have to decide who's running the show. Your intellect or the link between your emotions and your taste buds. You have to decide that. Nobody will decide it for you. But this little dish that I'm cooking is a lot better than the food I used to eat. You know, which might be a soft drink and an entire bag of potato chips.
Yummy.
Anyway, this meal also costs less than a bag of potato chips and a soft drink. Way better for you. Now, I don't want to boil too much of the water out of this. I want it to keep boiling for just a bit, so some of it reduces down before I put in the cabbage. If you put the cabbage in too early, it will pretty much cook to death. Put it all in there like that. And I'm not going to stir. Oh, lovely. Something for the maid to do. I'm not going to stir for a bit because I want the steam to come up and start slowly cooling or warming up the cold cabbage. Now, a word about the little seasoning packet that comes in the ramen package. You can use it or you can not use it. If you're concerned about salt, if you need to keep salt out of your diet, etc., you might want to forego this. I'm going to use it because I don't have salt issues. It's just additional flavor, but you can flavor on your own with stuff out of your spice cabinet without using that little prepackaged seasoning. Now, there is something you can do if you don't use that package. You can save it. And later on, somewhere down the road, if you boil, let's say, some rice, you make a pan of rice. Instead of using just plain water, you can use that package. And it will really season your rice nicely. It'll give it the right amount of salt so you're not, eating mush. I prefer brown rice, but some people prefer white. Okay, the cabbage is cooking. The water is reducing down. But before it's all gone, that's when you should add your flavoring packet, where it still has a chance to get into the liquid, spread itself around, and do some good. You don't have to slavishly follow this order. You can put in the seasoning package before the cabbage. That's not that big a deal. Oh yeah, it's going to be delicious. Full of greens, full of protein, carbs. I'm no nutritionist, but this has done a lot of good for me. It's helped me take a few pounds off. But that's no guarantee that it'll do anything for you. So, this is not going to be represented as, a weight loss cure-all. But if you are using it to help reduce the amount of weight you're carrying around, Remember, it's not a panacea. Not only that, you also need to bear in mind, and people on TV and stuff don't say it often enough, you didn't put the weight on overnight, don't expect it to come off overnight. It takes work and it takes commitment. Anyway, this is a relatively fast, simple, inexpensive meal. And these are ingredients you can find just about anywhere in the country. You can turn this into something really great if you had access to really great ingredients. But living where I live, south of Dallas, Texas, there's not a whole lot of variety, not much excitement in the local Walmart, except maybe for people watching. Our water's just about reduced down. The cabbage is softened, but not cooked to death. So you can reduce your heat all the way down to nothing. Let it coast for another minute. You're treating it basically like a stir fry. This is also a great way to get a facial. Is just stand over it and get the steam that comes off it. And if you weren't hungry before you started this, having that steam come up your face is going to make you hungry. Now, anyway, that's pretty much done. I've never timed this, so I don't know how long it takes. But it's not very long. I don't like to let anything go to waste. There we go. And that's done. And there you have it.